Guys, today I'm going to talk about how to drop body fat, how to get shredded, how to get lean for the summer, okay? I know we're halfway through the summer, but there's still plenty of people who are going to be going on holidays in the next while, and plenty of music festivals to look forward to as well. Electric Picnic being one, which I'm hoping to get up to for a day, the Sunday hopefully. So here it is, guys, my top tips for dropping body fat. Tip number 1, track everything you put into your body. I'd recommend downloading the app MyFitnessPal and start entering all the different foods you're taking throughout the day. The likelihood is you're taking in too much or too little of something, which can result in muscle loss or fat gain. If you really don't want to use MyFitnessPal, I'd recommend following a sample diet plan. But at the end of the day, guys, it takes 30 seconds to enter your food into the system, and how many seconds, minutes, hours you spend on Facebook just scrolling down. So tip number 1, track everything. Tip number 2, very simple one but often overlooked. Eat fewer calories. It's all well and good tracking your macros, but at the end of the day, if you're taking in too many calories or you're in a calorie surplus, you're not going to burn body fat, okay? When you eat in a calorie deficit, your body digs into the body fat reserves, which can in turn lead to fat loss. So tip number 2, eat fewer calories. Tip number 3, reduce your carb intake. Do not cut out carbs, reduce carbohydrates. Cutting out carbohydrates is a recipe for disaster. You need carbohydrates to train, you need glycogen in the muscles to fuel your workouts. If you don't cut out carbohydrates altogether, you're going to have a shit session, but it's also very likely you're going to lose a great deal of muscle size. When you take in carbohydrates, the hormone called insulin is released in the body. Insulin is known to slow fat breakdown, but also increase or encourage fat storage. Taking in moderate or low amounts of carbohydrates is known to kind of level off insulin levels, which can in turn lead to fat loss. Slow digesting carbohydrates are a better option for most of the day because they don't create as great an insulin spike, and more importantly, they keep you fuller for longer. And when you're fuller for longer, you're not going to reach for the shit food. Tip number 4, increase your protein intake. Without protein, you won't be able to repair, build or maintain muscle. Eating protein also has a thermic effect on the body. By that I mean it actually increases your metabolism when you're digesting it. So if you're cutting calories, restricting calories from carbohydrates and fats, then definitely look to increase your protein intake. Tip number 5, reduce your fat intake. Carbs fuel your workouts, protein helps build, maintain and repair muscle. Fat does neither of those things. That being said, fat is very important when it comes to vitamin and mineral absorption and keeping your hormones in check. Testosterone being one of those hormones which is vitally important when it comes to resistance training. You also have to take into account fat is a nutrient dense or a calorie dense nutrient with 9 calories per gram, whereas protein and carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram. Tip number 6. Make your sessions as intense as possible. Don't go to the gym chatting with your friends, taking 2, 3, 4 minutes between sets. Bring your stopwatch, put your music in and focus on the session. Make every session and every repetition count. Introduce intensity techniques like drop sets, supersets, trisets, rest pauses, whatever you can think of. Make sure you keep your heart rate up, make sure you're sweating, and as a result, you will burn much greater amounts of fat. Tip number 7. Cannot stress how important this tip is, guys. Probably one of the most difficult to implement, but has a monumental effect on the body when you do cut it out, and that is alcohol. Taking in alcohol, it essentially stalls digestion or the absorption of nutrients from food for about 2 to 3 days, or until the alcohol has left your system. If you're like me, then you're gonna eat shit the day after you go boozing, and then 2 days after you're gonna feel like shit, so generally you're gonna eat shit again, and you're gonna have a below par session in the gym. So that's basically 3 days cut out of no activity or poor activity, which is obviously gonna result in fat gain. So tip number 7, probably one of the most important, and that is to cut out alcohol. And finally, tip number 8. Have a goal in place. Could be 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or 8 weeks. And it could be something as small as a holiday, a photo shoot, a music festival. But having something in place can totally and drastically change your mindset towards training and nutrition. Don't just go through the phases and say, I want to get shredded for the summer, because 3 months later, you're going to be in the exact same position as you were at the start. Have something in place, have something to work towards, and I can guarantee you it'll make a huge difference to your training and nutrition. Right guys, that's my 8 tips for the day. Lots more videos coming in the future. Please remember to subscribe, share the video if you want, and stay tuned guys. Catch you later.